Wait, people really thought that African Americans were immigrants? Yeah, I know y'all lying. Don't immigrants go like on their own? If they, they go to a particular country on their own accord, because they may be trying to get away from whatever. We ain't come here because we wanted to be here. We still don't want to be here. Hell, we hoping that they maybe put us out and send us somewhere. Well, what do y'all mean y'all thought we were immigrants? Immigrants? Y'all know the story of how we got here? Do that make sense? Like, this world is so disillusioned about African Americans. We're descendants of Africa, but we've been here for hundreds of years. We're not first generation, second generation, third generation, fourth generation, fifth generation. Like, we've been here. We built this country. The foundation of this country is built by African Americans. We didn't come here because we want to be here. Like, what are y'all talking about? Y'all thought we were immigrants. Immigrants? Who? Where? Immigrants? I got papers to prove I ain't no immigrant. Like, some of the stuff that I hear on social media is correct. Like, for real, y'all thought we were immigrants. Come on now. Stop playing. We don't want to be here now. Get us out of here.
What do you mean y'all thought we were immigrants? Y'all thought black people, black Americans, African Americans, blacks, us, were immigrants. The hardest lessons, clearly, it's going to take me a long time to learn and figure out is that other people just don't know what I know. I assume that a lot of people know what I know. That's why y'all keep saying that, huh? That makes sense, I guess. The we're next. Y'all think, what? How do y'all not know how long we've been a part of this country?
It's hilarious. Really, some Latinos are out here talking about how Black Americans will be next to get deported, as if history skipped them in school. Newsflash. Black Americans are not immigrants. You can't deport somebody whose ancestors were here, not by choice, centuries before your abuela even crossed the border. Black Americans are foundational. They were on American soil before the Statue of Liberty was even an idea, before Ellis Island, before immigration papers were a thing. They weren't signing up for a green card. They were forced cargo on slave ships, building the country for free while laws didn't even see them as fully human. And now you're talking deportation? Deport them to where? Georgia? Alabama? Back to the block they grew up on? It's giving, I didn't read a history book. It's giving, I think everyone came here the same way I did. It's giving, I really just want to deflect from the fact my own people are being deported in record numbers. Black Americans aren't immigrants. They're America's unpaid founders. You can argue with your cousins at the cookout about immigration policy, but don't drag Black Americans into your deportation fantasies. They're not next, they're rooted. So the next time you're tempted to say Black Americans are immigrants, maybe Google transatlantic slave trade first. And while you're at it, Google irony. You're living in it.
I'm going to also get this off my chest. First of all, African Americans who came here through the transatlantic slave trade cannot be immigrants. Immigrants are people who choose to go to another country voluntarily because they are leaving because of conflict, economic more opportunities, etc. Those are immigrants. So a lot of y'all family came here as immigrants, specifically on boats or coming across borders or however you got here. I don't care if you flew here. That's how you got here voluntarily. Africans who came to the United States as well as to the Caribbean area were brought by force in chains across an ocean, packed in like fucking sardines in a can. So it's disrespectful to say that African Americans are immigrants because we are not here by choice. And then after 1808, when the transatlantic slave trade ended, they began to breed black people because they could no longer transport them across because of all the people who were dying in the ocean. It was not economical. So they decided to breed them. So you are looking at somebody whose family comes from, originally from Mississippi, from a plantation that was a breeding plantation. It didn't matter. They bred sister, brother. It didn't matter. Okay? These people had no conscience. So to say that African Americans are immigrants, it is deceitful and disrespectful.
You're not an immigrant when you are dragged across the globe against your will to be worked and bred and tortured by the very people who stole the land upon which you were dragged to. Okay? We didn't choose to vacation here. We didn't choose to flee here. We didn't choose any of this. That's the difference. A lot of y'all are immigrants, and God bless you for it, but that will never be Black Americans. We were forced to build up the places that a lot of your ancestors immigrated to, and to this day didn't get a stake in any of that. So before y'all run your mouths about Black Americans and our history in this country, make sure you're not spewing out garbage first. Because immigrants made this country what it is, but we are the building blocks, the very foundation. So unless you're Native American, you can't say nothing to me about that.
And let's be real, the Black Americans are immigrants line is just lazy trolling. You know it's not true. You just want someone else to be in the hot seat with you so you don't feel alone when IC comes knocking. But here's the thing, you can't deport someone whose family has been in the US for over 400 years. They're as American as apple pie, actually more so because apple pie is Dutch. Some of you out here acting like deportation is contagious, like if it's happening to you, it's gotta happen to everybody. But that's not how history works. You can't rewrite it to make Black Americans visitors when they were literally here before your family's first Hola, America. You might not like hearing it, but Black Americans aren't guests. They didn't arrive. They were taken. They didn't assimilate. They were forced to build, bleed, and die for a country that still treats them like second-class citizens, but that still makes them citizens by birthright. So next time you want to start that Black Americans will be deported next nonsense, remember, Black Americans are America. Deport them and the whole country collapses, and then you won't have anywhere to sneak into.
Trying to scare tactic Black people that if they don't stand in unison with Mexicans and immigrants in this deportation, that we're next. Next how? That's not, y'all be talking about, well, we don't know the history about. Y'all don't know the history. We are citizens of this country that were brought over here forcibly by our ancestors, brought over here forcibly centuries ago. Our blood is in this soil. There is no next. There's no deporting us. There's no rounding us up. Like, what are you talking about? We're not in the same boat. This ain't the same thing. ICE ain't looking for us. You hear me? Thank you.
Just a reminder, Black Americans that are descendant of the enslaved and Black Americans that are descendant of the freed people that have been here for centuries are not immigrants. And what I mean, especially about the enslaved, is that our ancestors were stolen. They didn't choose to come here to build this country. They didn't choose to come here because this country didn't really exist. We're on stolen land. There was native, indigenous civilization here for 15,000 years before any European showed up. So from 1619 till the 1800s, Africans were stolen. Their language was taken away from them. Their family was taken away from them. Their drums, everything was taken away from them. So Black Americans created a new culture, Black American culture. So dear immigrants, you cannot impose your immigrant philosophy on people that built this country. Economic wealth. Black women were nursing the slave masters' babies, taking care of their kitchen. We were in the fields. We were doing everything. The economic wealth was built on the backs of the enslaved people. And then when they were set free, they were supposed to be given 40 acres and a mule, and they never were. But the land giveaway for whitey Europeans is what populated this country. Rights of Black people, rights of immigrants did not exist until the descendant of freed Black people and the descendant of the enslaved fought during segregation, marched, strategized, got legislation passed, got into the court system. It did not exist before 1964, before the Civil Rights Act. So it's only been 60 years since there's been some semblance of rights. And in 1965, the Immigration and Naturalization Act was passed so that you all could come here and benefit from the rights that Black people fought for. So to hear people say that they don't agree with reparations because you weren't here, you wouldn't have been able to be here. Slave owners got reparations. The Japanese internment camp got reparations. Jewish people got reparations. The only people that have not gotten reparations have been the descendants of the enslaved. Now, it's not whether you like it or not. They're just some uncomfortable truths that you need to know before spouting your opinion about the people that built this country. So reminder, Black Americans have our own culture because we had to. There was no choice. And we are not immigrants. We are descendants of the enslaved. And some of us are descendants of the free people that came here being explorers. But we are not immigrants in the sense that you are. For educational purposes only.
You mean to tell me that the rest of the world does not know that the transatlantic slave trade happened? About motherfucking chattel slavery? Y'all mean to tell me y'all thought we came here by will? So that's why y'all motherfuckers keep talking about black people are next, y'all are next, they're coming for you next. Bitch, they ain't never stopped coming for us since they brought us here. They brought us here to be their free labor workforce, and when we said, fuck y'all, we ain't doing this shit no more, that's when they started coming for us. And that took us a long while to get to where we were even free, Bookie. 1965 is when we got free for real. My ancestors here in Texas, that's why we celebrate June. Because see, when they signed that Emancipation Proclamation, Mr. Lincoln there did, my ancestors, Mrs., the white woman that owned some of my ancestors, said nope and skedaddled on down here to Texas where they were still enslaving people. It's not like they just signed the Emancipation Proclamation and poof, slavery disappeared. That ain't how that worked. That's why these folk down here still rock the Confederate flag. Because they think about the good old days. What do you think they mean by the good old days? The days when we was enslaved, bitch. We're not migrants. We were stolen from our ancestral lands, our ancestors, put on boats like sardines, mushed, laid up on top of each other, filled to the brim, in chains. Many did not make it. Many were thrown overboard, assaulted sexually, and unalived. Brought from Africa on over to South America, Central America, North America, the islands. That's how we got over here. Black Americans, anyways. That's why so many of us have mixed ancestry. We have multiple ethnic groups from Africa within our DNA, as well as European, as well as indigenous. Because, baby, some of them Native Americans was enslaving us too. And we all know the history behind the Europeans having insatiable appetites for violence, both sexually and other physical types of violence. That's why a lot of us got that European DNA in us. Y'all really thought we were immigrants? Bitch, we were imports. We were human trafficked. So saying we're next, Black Americans are next, is crazy. Diabolical even. Because they ain't never stopped coming for us. Why do you think we were warning y'all?
At the end of the day, calling Black Americans immigrants is like calling the sun a guest star in the sky. It's nonsense. Black Americans are the soil, the bricks, the backbone of this country. Deportation threats don't work on people who built the house you're standing in. So if you're really worried about who's next, maybe look in the mirror, because history says it's not them. And if you're mad about that, well, take it up with the history books, not me. This is Orbit Point. Subscribe, like, and hit that notification bell, because we're not afraid to say what everybody else is thinking. And trust me, we've got more truth bombs coming.